Hi, little birds. I will tell you, I've had this bone woken up in me lately, and I just feel contentious sometimes, where I like to troll people that like to say very negative and harmful things about trans people, and I will freaking fight them online. Yeah, I know many people that triggers them, but for me it's a thrill. I get to defend my point. I get to defend myself. I get to defend my community. So it gives me almost a sense of self, a sense of, you know what, they may never get it, they may not accept it, but I still made my point. And this goes without say with this person that I will mention, and I don't mind mentioning them because their whole basis is very conservative, evangelical, and he spreads hate across the U.S. on different topics like abortion and other items. And I'm just like, you know what? And of all people he talked with Blair White, who is conservative as well as a trans person, which I don't know how you can be conservative, because conservatives, which are typically Republican, don't support trans people. They sure as hell don't support us at all. In fact, look at what they did in Mississippi. Look at what they did in North Carolina. Bathroom bills. Like, really? Like, seriously. It's 2019 and you're making a bathroom bill to try to exclude me? What are you going to DNA test me at the door? Like, I went in a bathroom in Mississippi. I broke the law. I didn't know it at the time. It wasn't purposeful, but if I go back, yes, I will use the women's restroom and they will not stop me. Because I will sue the hell out of them for my rights. Because Mississippi is being misogynistic bigots. And so, the person I am talking about is a lovely conservative talk show host, Ben Shapiro. And he seems to think his opinion is the best opinion out there, number one opinion. You know what? You have an overbloated ego and think your opinions are correct and based in logic and sound mind. BS. Bullshit. And I say this because here is his mantra. A man is a man. A man is born with a penis. Man has XY chromosomes. I'm calling that person a man. I'm calling that person by sir. And a woman is a woman with a vagina and has XX chromosomes. Which his whole argument is not based in science, not based on the research that is being done out there on transgender people. He even says, oh, brains don't tell anything. Well, there are at least 3 studies that I know of that have been studying cisgendered brains against transgender brains. And they have found that our brains most closely relate to the gender that we identify with. And yes, some will say brains don't have differences, but if you look at the gray versus white matter, men and women are slightly different in their gray and white matter content of how much they have. And we relate more closely to the gender we identify with, which is very telling that, yes, in utero, our brains develop differently than how the DNA says to go. And they've also found that there may be hormone triggers. There's also chromosomes markers on the chromosomes that they've noticed that only transgender people have, that is so far concurrent on most transgender people that they have found. It's a couple gender markers that are different from the rest of the population, which again is very telling. And then his whole argument does not match with biology, which he argues to death that it's pure biology. It's biology that we are male and female. Yes, it is biology, but you neglect 3% of the population in the U.S. that is intersex. And being intersex used to be called hermaphrodite, and that's how I grew up knowing them, but they're intersex now. And most intersex people will have, different chromosomes or some kind of hormone difference than some of us. And there is a YouTuber that I really love, and she talks about it. And she just did a TED Talk, and I'm just like, she nailed it. And I'll link the TED Talk down below because it brought me to tears, because it's so true. She hit the spot. She may have been talking about intersex people, but transgender people can relate 100%, because we get a lot of the same stigmas, a lot of the same issues that they go through. And yes, it's not all of our lives, but for some of us it is all of our lives, just like intersex people. And what I mean about hormones is that if you have a testosterone intolerance, the testosterone doesn't get used how it should be. So you grow up naturally as a woman. And she talks about having a vagina and then testes. And she's not shy about sharing that, because it needs to be talked about, because we're forcing intersex children and babies to assign a gender to them they may not identify with. And I know I've seen quite a few stories where they basically, I guess you could say, become transgender after that, because they don't identify with the gender that they were assigned, just like the rest of us. And it's insane that, someone like Ben Shapiro would be like, well, basic biology. Well, you haven't studied your basic biology then, because genes and DNA is more complicated than you think. It is not just male and female that exists. That's like saying you're either going to have green eyes or brown. You can't have anything in between, because that's all genes are going to give you. I'm sorry, but my brown eyes may look totally different than somebody else's brown eyes. And that is a difference among everything that is human. We're not like deer. We're not like angelfish or anything like that. We have a lot of differences that differentiate us from one another, but we do have a commonality. We're all human. We're all here. So, you could call this my call out to Ben Shapiro, whatever you want to call it, and I will link some studies down below that show what I'm talking about. And yes, there are other studies that conflict that, but most of them were not done recently. One of them that Ben Shapiro likes to quote is from 2011. 2011, 8 years ago. Like, really look at the work that is being done now. That's been done in the last 5 years on transgender people. 2011 is old. And that study they have proven was false. They falsified a lot of their claims based on, oh, it's transgender people, we don't care about them. And this is where, also the scientific community has to come along with us and be allies and do sound studies, not based on their ideas and what they conceive as right and wrong. So, and I doubt, Ben Shapiro will even watch this. I doubt he will even care. And I don't care. I am going to put my opinion out there. I am going to not let up. I am not going to be erased. I'm not going to let someone say, this is a man, this is a woman, and there's nothing in between. Because that is false, that is wrong, and not sound science. It's not biology. So, guys, be authentic. Be yourselves. Be your own voice. Find your own voice somewhere out there. Because we all need to be vocal. Because if we're just sitting on the sidelines, shit is going to go sideways real quick and hit the fan. Because they just believe we're just we blend in. We are human. So, I have not been approached anywhere and told something that, oh, you're a man. No. I get very positive affirmation even in the community that I'm in. And we all have to find our voice. Whatever that may be. Whatever level that you find yourself advocating for our community and, bringing this stuff to the forefront and, saying, hey, we are trans, we are proud, and we aren't going to give up until we have our same basic rights protected under the law. So alright guys, that's it for today. And if you like this, please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Hit the notification bell. Look at my other media. I have Instagram and all the other outlets. Because I believe in diversifying. I believe in putting myself out there wherever I can so that it's not just me on YouTube. So yeah, just hit me up, give me a comment, a like, whatever you are comfortable with. Share this video. I don't care. I do it for others, not myself. So, alright guys, bye. Love you. Talk to you later.